Hey there, my name is Cirico and today I'm going to be reviewing No Man's Sky, a procedural universe which is so bloody mind-boggling that it needs an entire review just dedicated to it just to try and explain the thing. Right, let's take a look at exploration in No Man's Sky first and we'll move on to the other topics as we go. Right, straight off the bat, exploration in No Man's Sky is incredibly interesting. Everything is heavily diverse. I have never been to two planets that look exactly the same or have the same things on them. Somehow the actual system works. There are 13 quintillion planets and all of them are completely different. Don't ask me how that works, but it does work, which is incredibly interesting. I don't know how they did that. I've seen everything from jungles to deserts to rainbow coloured sky, weird acidy rain places. I've seen swamps, I've seen oceans, I've seen fields of blue grass, and I've seen like floating mountains and stuff like that too. It's a wide range of diversity for the entire universe. Like I said before, nothing ever feels the same when you're going there. Nothing ever looks the same. The same goes for the animals as well. All the animals are also procedurally generated, so you get some really weird looking things. Like I thought, like I was feeding like a weird lion tiger thing, and there's also giant wolves, weird bug-like alien things on stilts. The diversity is crazy. There's flying ones, swimming ones, walking ones, bipedal ones. It's a ton of stuff. Now mining plays a big part in No Man's Sky. You get resources from mining which you can use to sell on, say, the galactic market for money, or you can use it to craft for you, your ship, or really your own personal use for crafting. Now all of these things kind of mesh together. If you don't craft things, or if you don't start using the trade market, you're going to have a harder time getting around in No Man's Sky, because you won't be able to craft better warp drives, you'll not be able to travel farther, that sort of thing. Now another thing, you'll meet aliens during your travels, and they're all in certain factions. If you ally yourselves with them, you'll get certain benefits for doing so as well. And you could also have the option to actually learn their language, which is incredibly fun actually. You can learn what they're saying. And again, when exploring in No Man's Sky, anything you find first, you can name that and it'll be that forever. It'll be your discovery, no one can take that away from you. It will always be called whatever you name it, which is the exploration of No Man's Sky is its biggest strength. It is like the fundamental building block of No Man's Sky, going out into the unknown and finding things and just really having a good time about it. And also it's just really well done. The exploration is incredibly well done. It's easily the best part of the game. Easily. Alright then, let's go blow some stuff up. Now the combat in No Man's Sky revolves around fighting either sentinels or space pirates. Sentinels, for example, work the same way as the Grand Theft Auto Stars system, being sent out increasingly harder the more damage you inflict on a planet. Now these robots that come after you can range from weedy little drones coming after you and trying to shoot you with like tiny little lasers, to hulking bipedal tank monstrosities that fire massive lasers and just take away your health in like seconds. Now luckily your multi-tool can help out against them. Your boltcaster suddenly has a gun, as well as your mining laser, which can be used offensively in combat if the situation ever arises. Now the multi-tool can be completely customized to your liking, with many other multi-tools available, creating essentially customizable weaponry which can range from scatter shots to grenades to rapid fire, extra ammunition. It's all customizable. You can essentially create your own playstyle for your gun. Now the multi-tool doesn't use the best shooting mechanics. It feels slightly sluggish in comparison to most FPS controls, and has a slight auto aim to it. I mean, it serves its purpose, but it's certainly got room for improvement. It's not like perfect FPS controls that you'd normally get in most other games. But it's passable. It does what it needs to do in the game. Now that you get the gist of some of the ground combat, let's go and move over to some space combat. Now in my opinion, space combat feels a bit more well done. It focuses heavily on getting line of sight of the enemy ships and shooting ahead of them, trying to score hits on them. Now believe me, you're going to be turning around in bloody circles just to try and find these ships. Like even if you got the fastest ship, these things dance circles around you all the time and you have to constantly turn and turn and turn just to find them. Now space combat can be quite intense at times, which is a really good thing. I like that, but there's still the turning kind of takes away from it at times. Now a lot of the time you're going to find yourself constantly opening up your ship's inventory trying to refuel your shields or your guns, beams, all of that sort of thing you're going to have to refuel. Usually during combat too, which is slightly annoying, but it also kind of works at the same time. Just keeps that intensity going, because if you're getting shot at and your health's near zero, and then you got to open up your actual inventory and then start charging your shields while you're being shot at, it makes for a little it makes for a good scenario. Now even if you're warping towards a planet really fast, you can actually get pulled out of orbit by space pirates. What they do is they scan your ship and then they actually knock you out of orbit and you're forced to fight them. Now this can happen, this doesn't happen all that often, but it will happen occasionally in the game. And it just serves to kind of break up a little bit of the monotony that goes on in the game. I quite enjoy when that happens as well, because it gives you a chance to like pummel the crap out of pirates. Who doesn't want to pummel the crap out of pirates? It's fun. So that about sums up space combat. Like, I quite enjoy it. I genuinely do enjoy space combat. It feels slightly sluggish, a lot like the ground combat, but at the same time, it does actually kind of work. My only complaints here, mainly, are the turning. Turning is a bit too much, it happens a bit too often. But other than that, space combat is pretty fun. It's fun. It's pretty well done.
Alright, my first ship. Right, throttle forward. It's good, easy. What does this button do?
Now the flying mechanics in No Man's Sky feel fairly tight. Also, yeah, that is actually Shrek's swamp we're passing right now, as you can plainly see from the name. It's beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely no bloody idea why I named it that. Anyway, back to the actual flying mechanics here. Now, if you're going to fly around normally, it's going to take you ages to get anywhere, so you're going to have to boost as well. Boosting will reduce the time that it takes to get between places. Also, you can go into like the semi-warp drive mode, which gives it a couple seconds between planets. Now this will actually get us close enough that we can actually land on the planet and go have a look around. So, in a sense, the warp thing is extremely useful, but it uses up tons of fuel, which you'll need to get more of. Right, so we're going to have a little land on the moon of Shrek's swamp here. We're going to have to break through the atmosphere and go have a little walk around on the surface just to kind of show you landing and breaking the atmosphere. So as you can see, we're kind of coming in now. We're going to land, and it's all nice and blue here, full of animals and stuff that all look weird, but it's beautiful. Now also, there's when you get a warp core, you can actually warp to different solar systems. Now, when you do this, you'll actually go into this weird light tunnel, and it'll just pop you out in another solar system. It's fantastic, it's great. So all in all, the actual flight feels pretty good. It really works for the game. Right, let's talk about No Man's Sky's story. Now, No Man's Sky does in fact have a story, but it's more reminiscent of old text-based adventure games rather than the cinematic variety. Lore is told through monoliths, events can happen that can give you backstory on a person or place, and the game lays out two distinct paths to follow story-wise. You either get to the centre of the universe, or you go find Atlas. Or of course you could always just go off on your own and just craft your own story by exploring whatever and wherever you want. Either way, the game doesn't exactly have a traditional story, but there are story elements in it which give context to the universe, and I think that's one of the most interesting things about this game, is just stumbling across something and just following it. For example, when I was exploring, I found a beacon, a distress beacon, and what it led me to was a crashed ship. When I got there, the guy was already dead and the entire ship was trashed. But the thing is, I could actually take that ship and make it my own. And it actually has lore behind it as well. It was owned by a hunter dude who had lots of trophies and stuff. It just adds more context to the universe, and it really helps the game out. Even just starting up a conversation with an alien in the game can be interesting, as it can have more than one outcome and it can affect your whole faction standing and whatnot. it does add more context to the universe, and it is genuinely, it makes the game better for it.